What are your dream Social Security policies? I'm on a roll. I'm going to keep going. Changes to benefits for self employed, sole proprietors, LLCs, small businesses to reflect their outsized tax burden. So in the 90s, Clinton signed into law a new tax on people who do not have an employer who pays Social Security on their behalf. So this would come up with everybody who's, say, independent contractors, people who run their own business, people who are self-employed. No one's paying the employer side of Social Security for you. So in the 90s, they increased the tax to say you now have to pay both the employer and the employee side, a total tax of 12.4% on your earnings. This is a massive tax increase for people who are essentially trying to make it on their own. The problem is a little complicated. It's a bit nuanced, so you'll have to stay with me. So say I am a self-employed and in my business I bring in $100,000. Well, when I go to pay taxes to the IRS, I do not pay income taxes on $100,000. I pay income taxes on $100,000 net of all of the expenses I was able to deduct for operating my business, right? I've got employees, I've got rent, I've got materials, office space, internet, phone, health. I try to deduct as much as possible from my revenue in order to lower my tax liability for the IRS. This is like absolutely how every small business and sole proprietor operates. You don't want to look, or you want to make your income look as small as possible so you don't have to pay as much as income taxes to the IRS. Well, Social Security kind of fairly also taxes your net income and not your gross income. So you have your gross income, you deduct everything that you can to get your net income as small as possible for the IRS, and that smaller level of income is what Social Security taxes. At least on the tax levying side, there's a fairness to that. The problem is that means that the earnings that you were logged as contributing to Social Security for your benefit calculation years or decades later, they tend to be really small. Smaller than probably what someone would be earning kind of in a similar job if they had an employer. This compounds over people's lifetime so that someone who has been self-employed for a long time gets to kind of the end of their work life and get much less in Social Security than they probably thought they were going to get. I was at a research conference once where 4 different people were trying to estimate what was the lifetime benefit loss, basically, of being self-employed and trying to smartly reduce your income tax liability and Social Security tax liability, but end up reducing your earnings contributions to such a degree that you had much smaller benefits of your lifetime. I don't think this is fair. They pay twice as much in taxes as other workers, but because of the way that the tax is collected and the incentives around tax collection, they often get less in benefits in the long run. There's a way to fix this. There's a way to say not make them pay the employee or the employer side, a way to credit their benefits or credit their earnings to show that, if you're self-employed, maybe you get like double the earnings in the quarter, to change the earnings amount that come in on the average based on whether or not you were self-employed. It's a pretty brave and awesome thing to do, to go out on your own. And Social Security can be designed in such a way that they are not punished in the long run over their benefits simply by trying to make it as a small business. It's not like a massive hit. It's not like a gross unfairness. It's just something that Social Security can do much better than it currently is. We can do better for people who are independent contractors in our Social Security system, and we should do better because people who are out on their own don't have the largesse of a big employer that could be providing them with retirement benefits or could be providing them with health benefits. Like they're trying to do everything on their own, but it makes it harder for them in the world of Social Security, when you would hope Social Security would at least be fair, if not better, for them. So changes to the earnings contributions, tax structure, or benefit calculation to reflect, self-employment, so that they don't end up with less economic security in the long run. Some kind of policy change in that direction. I'm not 100% sure what it would look like or how much it would cost, but it is the right way for Social Security to go forward.